A little bit ago, I made a video talking about my initial thoughts of Hazbin Hotel and asking the question if it was worth the wait. As of me uploading this video, all the episodes are finally out, and I think I can properly rate this show in its entirety. So I'm not just repeating things from the last video, I'm only going to touch on those topics there lightly. So if you already watched it, you already know my opinions of the show, and I want to talk about the rest of the episodes. So this video is basically a part 2 to this one, so go watch the first one, or don't, I don't care. Anyways, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. In my last video, I discussed the basic part of the plot where someone managed to kill an angel in that yearly extermination, and now it's happening sooner because of it. Charlie and Vaggie decide the hotel is a great way to get people into heaven, yada yada, you get the point. So let me just tell you the rest of the story. They get a meeting with the higher-ups in heaven. Is it with Jesus? No. Is it with God? Also, no. It's with this woman and her daughter. And Adam is back as well. While Charlie's in the process of proving that the hotel is working for the few people she has there, we learn that heaven is very corrupt and that people that should be in heaven just get sent to hell anyways. Everyone gets mad and they decide to send the extermination down in just a few days to attack the hotel. Alistair finds Charlie in her bed after a night with verbal ace and makes a deal with her to tell her how to fight the angels. Charlie and Vaggie get people together to go to war, they win, and get a happy ending. I talked about the characters in the last video, mostly on Alistair, Angel, Dust, and Husk. We get introduced to some more characters and reintroduced to Cherry Bomb, who is basically also the same as she was in the pilot. She has a bit of an accent now, which really doesn't bother me because honestly I can care less about her.
Why don't you get that Tinker Toy bullshit off my turf before I smash it? More.
Angie, you bitch! You've been texting me depressing shit all day. Figured we could tear shit up like old times. It's been fucking forever.
We get introduced to Lucifer, who is the king of hell and a neglectful father to Charlie. He's apparently very antisocial and, as he says in the show, depressed. It took one phone call for him to actually start caring about his daughter again, so that probably says a lot. We also get introduced to these two angels, which, honestly, God, I just forgot their names. They are just so forgettable. We meet Rosie, who runs Cannibal Town, which, as you guessed it, has cannibals. Which, by the way, these people seem like they're some of the few beings in hell that actually seem to be civilized. Like, if you were to ignore the cannibalism, they are just your average tax-paying American. Let's get into things that I like about the show overall. Obviously, the visuals are absolutely outstanding, and I have to get this out of the way now because I just can't hold myself back from talking about it, but the scene where Alistair is fighting Adam and he goes Super Saiyan and the animation switches to 60 frames for just a couple seconds just absolutely went so hard. I don't know why, but some of the songs after episode 4 kind of just felt like jump scares and would come out of nowhere, which I kind of found funny. When I was watching the show, I think during episode 8, I just started laughing at the song because it just came out of nowhere, basically destroying any emotion that scene was supposed to have. Something I forgot to talk about in the last video was in episode 3 when Alistair is going to a meeting and he runs into an overlord named Bestial. While they're talking, everyone around them starts shitting the bed, and I like how self-aware everyone is because they would rather be dead than be in the way of these two insanely powerful overlords. I say the plot twist in episode 6 revealing Vaggie was an angel was pretty surprising. This season has 8 episodes that are each roughly around 20 minutes, so within that runtime, there really isn't that much room for character development. But there were noticeable changes to the characters from the beginning to the end of the series. We'll see what Angel does since it seems like he got the most character development, which kind of makes sense since the most desperate are willing to change, and it shows in episode 6 actually how much he's changed. Charlie lets everyone go out to a club for the night, and everyone gets absolutely wasted, but Angel Dust only goes in for a few shots and doesn't get absolutely plastered like Cherry Bomb wants him to. Instead, he takes it upon himself to look after everyone and starts running after Nifty because she starts scampering all over the place, and he wants to make sure she doesn't hurt anyone or gets herself hurt. He even stands up for himself towards his pimp, saying he doesn't own him anywhere else other than the studio. If you know, you know. I wouldn't say that Alistair really got any character development, but I would say he definitely grew a small connection with the group in the hotel, and he actually admits that.
An enjoyable collective to be around. I admit one could get accustomed.
My boy Serpentius was a real G the entire show. Started out as a joke villain and finally got a family that actually cares about him. His death is probably one of the dumbest fucking things in this show. Bro was so close to tapping that ass, he just gets atomized. See what I did there? At least he got sent to heaven. Overall, I'd say my only real problem with the show is the pacing. A lot of you in the comments in the last video pointed out the pacing, basically saying it's too fast for how little runtime we have for each episode in this season. Basically just saying that they're shoving as much shit into it as possible, which I completely agree with. I think one comment said that if they were to span it out to 12 episodes for more development, things would work out better, which is also something I completely agree with, and this is probably something they should have done to begin with. Overall, things just felt very rushed for a few moments. There are a couple moments where they did seem like they were trying to develop the characters. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about Hazbin Hotel for now. My official ranking of this show is a 7.4 out of 10. The pacing is probably one of the weakest parts of the show. Some of the jokes were hit or miss, but the music, the visuals, and a fairly likable cast were definitely the best parts. This was a fun watch. Huge props for Vivzie for actually getting the show on the air and for getting me views on YouTube. Couldn't have done it without you. If you did enjoy the video, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.